read EIS. So it is reading. This is where you look to find out if it's actually doing something. And you also check here at the bottom. And there's some activities. Let's see if it's able to read any data from the EIS. Okay, so turn ignition off and try again. So we are going to disconnect the 12-volt power and reconnect it. Okay, so this is back on. Let's try again to read the EIS. And we have selected OBD and we are going to read EIS again. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, so now it's reading the EIS, as you can see. First thing when you read the EIS is you want to check those information. Normally you are supposed to have the SSID, the EIS number, the VIN number, and the mileage. On the old EIS, sometimes you're not going to get the VIN number and the mileage, but this will not interfere with the process. SSID and EIS number in W210 is just fine. You can still process. So let's confirm that the EIS number here is the same as the one that we read earlier. It was 210-545-0208. So that's good right there. So what we are going to do, we can check other information just to know what it says. The last used key on this EIS was key number 1. The penultimate key number 4. Don't ask me what the penultimate key is. I have not found out what it was, and I know it doesn't interfere with the process, but I know it's always good to know. So in the password field, it will be empty. That's normal because we haven't collected password yet. And so right over here, you have an EIS key information. Everything that is in orange or amber, I don't know what you call it, or red, are used keys. So on this EIS, there was 1, 2, 3, 4. Key number 1, 2, 3, and 4 were slot were used, and the slot 5, 6, 7, and 8 were empty and ready to receive new keys. More than likely, this EIS, those keys were programmed to a dealer because third party tend to choose a slot that is not consecutive to what is already. So this is a tutorial about how to program a key on the Mercedes E320. The year coverage is 1998 to 2002. This is the W210 chassis. We call it W210 EIS. It's one of the oldest. A lot of time you cannot perform this procedure in the vehicle. You would have to remove the EIS and do it on bench. So this is an EIS that I removed from the junkyard along with this engine control. I do have the same vehicle. I own a 2000 and actually a 1999 Mercedes E320, and so I got a couple of EIS for training purposes and just in case one of my ECU goes bad, so I can wipe out the EIS and eventually clone it to make it work straight from the bat. So what we have over here is the main unit that we're going to use here. This is CGMB with the analog and ESL unit. So this will basically emulate the ESL within the car, and we do have on CGMB what is called the instrument. The instrument is basically what allows you to connect to the ECU on bench. instrument, very important on the instrument, is the switch. If you are going to perform this procedure on bench, whether you are using this or using this, you would still need to keep this switch on platform. Platform is down here, so that's when you do it on bench. You would only use this switch pushed like that on the OBD side of it if you are performing the procedure in the car. So in this case, since we are doing it on bench, I'm just going to switch it down like that. You do need 12 volts power to the unit to be able to read the EIS. The EIS need to be powered for that purpose. Another thing that you need is internet connection. A regular home internet connection would not work. CGDI use hotspot internet. I think this is a convenience because you can use your phone and it's perfectly fine to be able to run CGDI. You could use a home internet that is supposed to be fast, but CGDI will not take it. So this is good because not everybody is able to have internet connections or internet speed as fast as home internet. I do have 1 gig at home, yet when I use it on my CGDI, the CGDI will not connect. But I use my T-Mobile hotspot, and then it will go. Everything is smooth. Everything goes fast. So this is not like IM508. If you use IM508, you need crazy speed internet connection. A mobile internet hotspot will not work for IM508. But CGDI is great. If you're using, say, for example, VVDI MB, it's actually good too. Mobile hotspots is good. As far as power, IM508 is more demanding than CGDI as well. With CGDI, I can use the regular 12 volt 2 amp adapter, and that is great. I'm able to get about 12, a little over 12 volts on the unit. But if I use IM508 with the same 12 volt 2 amp adapter, by the time it gets into the 508 unit, it's about 11 volts, which is not necessarily good. So when I use IM508 to program a key on bench, I would use my voltage stabilizer that I can program, and I usually set it at about 13. It's more than enough to be able to perform the procedure. So now that we spoke about how things need to be connected and what we have here on the table and how things need to be switched on, let's go ahead and talk about the software. This is the CGMB software. Right here you would have the keys information. Everything in red will be the keys that I used, and everything is green are basically free slots or spots to be able to add keys. As far as here on top is critical information. Every time you read the EIS, you're supposed to have the SSID, the EIS number, the VIN, and the mileage. On old EIS like W210, this doesn't matter. You would still be able to program the key even if those information are not populated. So all operation will be performed from the right side of the screen. As you can see right there, you have all your functions. You just need to know how to use them properly. We're going to set this on OBD because we have it connected here, but do not get confused. Even if you have it connected through the OBD port, you're still gonna have to switch your instrument on platform. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to read the EIS. So let's get back on this. The process goes like this. In order to program the key, you're gonna start. If you haven't done this, you wanna remember this. This is the first icon that you would press to read the EIS and save it. after you're going to compute the password. When you compute the password, it's going to be in 2 steps. First, you are going to collect the data. Once you get the data, you are going to save it and then upload the data, and then you'll wait until you get the password. Once you have the password, you're not going to click to the next read write key, because this is going to be actually the last step. So from number 2 step, you are going to jump onto number 4, which is generating key file. You may not generate a key file until you have the password. So once you get the password, you click on generate key file. You're going to choose the type of key that you need to generate, and after that, you're going to save it. After saving the key file, then you are going to write the key file onto the key, and this is going to complete the procedure. So let's go ahead and read the EIS by clicking here and read the EIS. I did want to mention that here on top you have several tabs. One important tab will be the wiring diagram. You would click on that and it will show you how to connect everything. You can see right there, you would choose the type of EIS we're working on. Say for example, we are working on W210. You want to do the fast, all keys lost, W210. You're going to click like that, and this is the connection diagram. But I'm not using that because this analog, the ESL analog has several connectors that goes directly into the EIS. So I do not have to use single wires and deal with pins and everything, because I just have to find the right connector and insert it into the EIS, and it's going to work. And as you can see right here, everything is labeled. In my case, I'm working on W210. So as you can see right there, it's a 202, 208, and 210. So you will just follow this wire and it will lead to the proper connector, and then you find where the connector goes into, and then you just plug into the EIS. If you don't have that, you would have to deal with this. Or another alternative is CGDI sells a bunch of connectors with OBD ports. You find these are connectors for several EIS, all kind of EIS you can work on, and there's 2 versions. One that is called fast and one that is called normal. So this is the fast version. It would be the same as the ESL. For example, this is a W209 and 211 EIS fast. So supposedly is able to allow you to read the password super fast. It's not always true, but you know, some of them work, some of them don't work as well, and it is the way it is. So I like to use this because it's more convenient. So having spoke about all that, let's go ahead and start the procedure.